Okay, now we're going to visit the very, very important Ayrshire town of Kilmarnock. This is the Google map of Kilmarnock, and there's various ways of arriving in this ancient city, but we're going to arrive from the air, and let's see, we're going to try to find a good landing spot. Actually, what I'll try and do is land at the railway station. So, yeah, somewhere near here anyway. Right, here we are. This is one of the big roads. The railway station is straight down there. So let's see if we can get to the railway station. And Kilmarnock railway station is quite high up. And so when people arrive by train in Kilmarnock, usually they're treated to a bit of a view. And that's what they will see as they come out of the railway station. The platforms are over here. Kilmarnock, part of the ScotRail network, which is, I believe, now owned by the Scottish government. So it must be very, very efficient. There is a lower exit, so you can probably come out somewhere down here, and then you might decide to cross the road here. There's an old pub called Fanny by Gaslight, a Victorian saloon bar. I have not been in there. And then you can go down this area. It's been partly restored and partly redeveloped. I think the Johnnie Walker whiskey company used to be located here. Now, however, the Johnnie Walker Whiskey Company has left the town and is located in a warehouse next to a motorway, I believe, somewhere in the centre of Scotland. Now, the town centre is somewhere down here. Now, there's a large church, the New Lay Kirk. I think it's been recently restored. It's a nice yellow colour, and it's next to Subway. And just down here we get to the sort of main commercial centre. You've got the Burns Mall, which is named after this guy, Robert Burns. And you've got a pedestrianised high street, which kind of means we can't go down that way. Or does it? Let's see. Oh, yes, we can. Well, it's largely pedestrianised, but the Google van can still drive down here when it needs to. So Burns Square, possibly. And go down here, and you have the usual kinds of shops that you can find anywhere in a Scottish town. You know, charity shops, W.H. Smith, newsagent, and post office. There's even a cafe here. Not sure if that's still there. Might be, might not be. Sometimes these Google van images can be several years out of date, and some of the shops that you see on them might no longer be there. Let's see now, we've got the Kilmarnock Smile Studio. People like to have nice shiny teeth in Kilmarnock. There's Marks and Spencer's. That's a favourite shop for older people, I think. And if we keep going down here, it's Superdrug, Betfred, and eventually, whoops, we get back to the busy roads. And this road is the main road to Irvine, which is the next big Ayrshire town. This building has now been demolished and turned into a park. So this shows you that the Google images that we're looking at here are at least, I would say, about 5 or 6 years out of date. Now let's continue down this road. You've got some eateries, food shops, shuttered premises. This would probably be before the great COVID pandemic. I think this is a charity shop for furniture. This has gone out of business. This is a derelict building. There's a tikka curry place here. That doesn't really seem to be doing very much. Chinese, Tex-Mex, and we keep going, and now we have reached the Kilmarnock Indoor Market. I'm guessing that has probably been closed down by now. Often with these kind of Scottish towns, there's lots of rules and regulations and taxes that drive healthy businesses over the edge. And we have this large Galleon leisure centre. So this is where people go to visit the gym and the swimming pool, I guess. And behind the leisure centre, there's actually a river. And beyond the river, there's a park. So let's see how far we can go. So let's see, this is the park. There's a pedestrian bridge. The Google van doesn't go there, so we can then jump to the other side. And this is a nice residential area. And there's the park from the other side. And we want to get into something a little bit more interesting, so we will now jump back to this side. And actually, there's some small industrial units here. I think they're quite interesting. Nice avant-garde design. Some people might find them rather depressing, but I think they're lovely. And let's get to the kind of cultural centre of Kilmarnock. I'm sure you'll want to see the cultural centre now. Kilmarnock is a bit of a challenge to drive round. It has a interesting one-way system. If we jump in here, Oh, there's the, that's not quite what I meant by the cultural centre. This is the Odeon Cinema. Um, at the time the Google van visited, the big movies were Meerkat movies and something called Limitless. Now I'm trying to get to this building here, the world famous Dick Institute. Now the Dick Institute was founded with money from a certain Mr. Dick, and it's a kind of multifunctional cultural centre. I think there's a library in there. There's a museum. They have an art collection, and it's on this road. I think this is called the London Road because this is the road that people would actually travel along on the very, very long journey to London, which is over 400 miles away. And this is a side view of the Dick Institute. Let's see, can we get in closer? How close in can we get? Probably a little bit closer. Not that way. This is about as close as we can get. But anyway, that's the famous, well, not really so famous Dick Institute. Now, Kilmarnock has quite a lot of nice old buildings, but there's also been quite a lot of radical urban replanning. Certain things have been knocked down, certain spaces have been created, and they haven't always been well filled. And there's some quite ugly parts of Kilmarnock as well. But the best part of Kilmarnock is anything Victorian in red sandstone. This is the characteristic building material of much of Scotland. And these buildings have a lot of character and aesthetic appeal. These buildings, these kind of Lego buildings, they have a lot less character and aesthetic appeal. Now there's plenty of other things to show you. Try to have a quick look at K Park. This is a park on the northwest side of Kilmarnock. It's in quite a high area, so it's above the town. It's well drained, which is a good thing because this part of Scotland does get a lot of rain, but then so does every part of Scotland. But this is the west of Scotland, so it gets even more rain than other parts. So you want a park which has good drainage. This is next to the Kilmarnock Water, the town's main river. And if you just walk around this road, you can get a little hint of the park. It has some nice monuments. There's this lonely column. There's also something connected to Robert Burns, a kind of Robert Burns monument. So let's see if we can find that. Should be down here. This is it here. A few years ago, they added some kind of community centre to this Burns monument. So let's see, can we get to the old Victorian part? And yes, welcome to Burns Monument Centre, East Ayrshire Council. Now, Kilmarnock is the, so to speak, the capital city of East Ayrshire. And in the Burns Monument, you have the statue of Robert Burns, who I tend to think is a slightly overrated poet. I think they lavish too much attention on this one particular guy. I think they should try to find other literary figures to extol to the masses. Right, so what else can we see? Yep. Ah, yes, here we are. Kilmarnock Football Club. The shop over here, the stadium, and it's surrounded by these kind of properties. Kilmarnock won the Scottish First Division in 1965. Usually they are in the top league in Scotland, where they finish somewhere in the middle or near the bottom. They were relegated and promoted quite recently. Established 1869, so quite an old club. And if you could see their team badge, there's a couple of squirrels on each side of a soccer ball. So that's all from Kilmarnock. Join me when I visit another Ayrshire town. Over and out.